Good morning. Welcome, welcome, welcome to the launch of the Jim Henson Exhibition. Thank you. I'm Ivan Lustig, co-chairman of the Museum of the Moving Image, and I'm so pleased to have all of you here for the launch of this exhibition that we've been working on for more than 5 years. The exhibition of an extraordinary individual's creative efforts remind us of the values Jim Henson held dear and were embedded in his work and universally admired. Respect for difference, open-mindedness, collaboration, unity amidst diversity, and kindness. These values are conveyed through a potent combination of art, film, and media, and humor. Lots and lots of humor, as you'll see when you get to see the exhibit itself. The cast of characters who joined together to create the Jim Henson Exhibition include people from city government, the arts, media, and entertainment, those entrusted with Jim Henson's legacy, and literally thousands of individual donors, all of whom have been infused with and inspired by the very same values that I mentioned earlier. We hope that this is evident in the exhibit as you walk through it. There are many, many expressions of gratitude to follow, but I wanted to take this particular opportunity to thank the City of New York, including our Mayor de Blasio and his lovely wife, the First Lady of New York City, is here to represent him, the Department of Cultural Affairs and its Commissioner, Tom Finkelpearl, the City Council, especially our own council member, Majority Leader Jimmy Van Bramer, thanks Jimmy, and Queensborough President Melinda Katz, who have put their considerable support behind this project. And I offer a special thank you to our museum staff who have been consumed by this project for the last 5 years, most especially Wendell Walker, our head of exhibitions and design, and Barbara Miller, our curator of exhibitions and collections, who put forth an extraordinary effort to arrive at today's opening. And now I give you the head of our museum, the person who has championed this exhibition from the beginning and marshaled the resources to make it a reality today, our executive director, Carl Goodman.
Well. Okay. We're going to have fun with this today, so first I kind of want to make sure you know that all that you come here to see, what you're not seeing right now in our lobby, an installation by the Ethiopian Brooklyn resident artist Ezra Wube, the Palestinian film All Frame, aka Revolution, showing this weekend, India Kaleidoscope, which begins this fall, our after-school program to teach STEM skills through the appeal and accessibility of media and film and art, screening and discussion programs in our beautiful Redstone Theater, our summer internship and camp programs. We have some of our summer interns here coming from through organizations like Summer Youth Employment and Urban Upbound and so on, and they're working here at our camps. Our teen council, our commissioned artist gifts in the elevator, Lorna Mills is represented right now. So we really hope that this exhibition is it's so appealing that sometimes it's harder to understand that this is happening within the context of a museum that, by the good graces of the City of New York and its supporters, has been here in Astoria for 30 years. The sudden renaissance that has occurred has taken about that long. I want to underscore Ivan's thanks to the City of New York, the mayor, but also the Department of Cultural Affairs, and I believe Commissioner Tom Finkelpearl is or was here if he's taking a call right now. In addition to the people you'll hear from, I do believe, is Julie Menon here? I think she wanted to be here, and she has been a partner. I mean, the museum is in a way a hinge between the arts and culture and the media and entertainment fields, both so important to New York City and so intricately connected, and something that you'll see that we're devoted to here at the museum. In addition to the city collaborators, we could not have done this and are honored to have been chosen by those who I've said are entrusted with the legacy of Jim Henson, his wonderful children, one of whom you'll hear from later. I do want to mention also that Jane Henson, Jim's wife, who passed away during the period of our planning the exhibit, and also her son John. We're thinking of them, and we're really grateful for what they were able to help us with during the first few years of the project. Media companies get a bad rep, but my goodness, Disney, Sesame Workshop, the Jim Henson Company, they're awesome to work with, and we're so happy that they trusted us with these fantastic characters and to do the job that we wanted to do and needed to do and had to do, and it's been wonderful working with them. In addition to people you'll hear from now, I do want to thank some that you'll be hearing from, the fantastic Jimmy Van Bramer, the entire Queens delegation of the City Council, and of course Speaker Melissa Mark Viverito. They've allocated about half of the $4.5 million that was used for the capital construction of this new gallery that houses the exhibition, and of course with the administration, the borough president providing the rest. I thank the staff for agreeing to now work in the basement in many cases. My office is Big Bird. What was my office is now being occupied by a very large yellow bird. I believe we have, in addition today with us, is Arabella Simotis. I saw her, our state assembly person. Thank you for coming. We have the heads of the EDC, and we have NYC and Company here, I believe. We're very excited to sink our teeth into this once it's open with you, to make sure that, as is expected, but will come from hard work, that we bring millions of people to the area who are eager to get here. The exhibition itself was funded through private funding, over 2,000 donors through Kickstarter and other means, but certainly the Henson children very important to this, but also George Lucas, Bill Prady, co-creator of The Big Bang Theory, and a whole number of people at a high level, but also people, again, an average donation of $70 to help fund the opening of the exhibition. We have many collaborators and people who worked with us selflessly to thank, who worked with us on the exhibition. I'll just, for now, single out the company Collins, who was involved in collaborated with us on the design and creative direction of the exhibition. You'll see the result of their wonderful work there. We can't forget the artists and performers, a lot of whom here are based in New York, who create these characters, bring these characters to life, whether they're designers or writers. In fact, the designer of Miss Piggy and former head of the Jim Henson Legacy, Bonnie Erickson, is here. She worked with us very closely. Craig Shemin, writer for Jim Henson, president of the Jim Henson Legacy. He even wrote some of the words that I'm going to be saying, I believe. Mangling, I'm so sorry. Arthur Novell, a former executive director of the Jim Henson Legacy as well, and our informal PR and crisis management advisor. Really fantastic. Again, and even Al Gottesman, the attorney for Jim Henson, was really crucial to getting this to happen. Everyone wanted to collaborate. Brilliant, passionate individuals coming together to create something wonderful. That is the standard to which we all held ourselves, and the standard that Jim Henson himself, through his work, has created. So it's been quite a road here, I think we're really happy that this day is finally here and we can get a little bit of sleep. Very soon you'll get to see what we were all working on, but today I hope you'll all join me in celebrating the museum magic of Jim Henson.
Ta-da! Oh, please. Did you say magic?
Abby,
Yes.
hello.
Hello there, Mr. Goodman. I heard you say magic. bit of an expert on that. See, I got the wand and everything.
Ah,
See?
yes.
A little
Well,
bit of magic for you.
I think we might need this, but we use another kind of magic. It's called public-private partnerships.
Hi,
But
public.
I'm so glad you're here to represent Jim Henson's ongoing creative legacy at Sesame Street.
Oh, I love Sesame Street and I love him. I'm also glad I'm here because I heard there'd be cake.
We have cake at our birthday parties, which are wonderful, by the way. But unfortunately, no cake for you today.
Oh, well, what about cookies? Because if you had cookies, you should have invited the Bluey Fur guy.
Right.
You know he
He's in
has
the-
googly
yeah,
eyes?
he's in the gallery.
His name's Cookie Monster.
Abby.
Yeah?
I know who Cookie Monster
Oh,
is.
good for you.
Work at the
You're
Museum
so
of the Moving Image.
cute.
I have a degree, a college degree, and everything like that.
Oh. A degree in cookies?
Yes, exactly. But listen, that's not why we're here today, and that's not why they're here. I really am honored to be able to introduce a very special guest today, and I'd like you to help me do so. Are you ready?
Really?
Yeah.
I mean, me?
Go for it.
I mean,
Okay.
introduce her. It's so magical. It's wonderful. I can't believe it. I mean, I just happen to live in Fairside Gardens, Queens, so.
That's amazing. Well, I'll take the first part, you take the second part, okay?
Okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the First Lady of New York City.
Chirlane McCray! Woo! Give it up! I just have to have a hug first before I look for cookies.
Thank you, Carl.
Thank you.
And thanks, Abby. An introduction from the executive director of the museum and a fairy. That's so magical. Hello, everyone. What a great day today is. I'm so excited. It's been wonderful to be here this morning at the marvelous Museum of the Moving Image with the Muppets and all of you. This is a fascinating New York City institution with a unique history. And I'm delighted that the Jim Henson Exhibition has chosen to call this museum home. They've been traveling for years to find the perfect place, and really, what other city would be such a perfect fit? A colorful collection of friendly, loving, opinionated, sometimes eccentric characters will fit right in with their new neighbors. After all, Queens is the world's most diverse county with residents from 120 different countries with 135 different languages spoken. Well, wait a minute, that's 136 languages now with Abby's language, Dragonfly. Thank you to all of you who came together to make this happen, especially Deputy Mayor Alicia Glenn, James Patchett, and the New York City Economic Development Corporation team, and of course Tom Finkelpearl and the team at the NYC Department of Cultural Affairs, and everyone else. It really takes a village, I could see from the list of people you said who were involved in this. They've led the city's support, the people that I've named have led the city's support for this project, and they've done such an amazing job, as always. Thank you also to Majority Leader Jimmy Van Bramer and Queensborough President Melinda Katz for their leadership and support. You know, yesterday I joined Bill to announce Create NYC, which is a bold new roadmap for expanding arts and culture. And there are so many pieces to it, but the focus is bringing more opportunities to enjoy arts and cultures to all New Yorkers in every borough. And when you think about it, Jim Henson's creations have been doing that for decades. With warmth, a little bit of silliness, and a whole lot of love, they share their appreciation for art, music, creativity, and learning with our little ones right in their own homes. That has a lasting impact on our children's lives. And it certainly mattered for my children who never wanted to miss an episode of Sesame Street. And now, New Yorkers and visitors will get to view and celebrate those vital contributions to our society for years and years to come, because our great city will forever be known as the home of the Muppets. It is now my pleasure to introduce a woman who has been the driving force behind the world of the Muppets for many years and instrumental in preserving and honoring her father's legacy, Cheryl Henson.
Thank you. I am so happy to be here on behalf of my whole family. We are really, really excited about this exhibition. That it's here in New York is really special to us. For years to come, visitors would be able to come here to see some of their favorite characters, from Sesame Street, Emmett Otter's Jug Band Christmas, The Muppet Show, Fraggle Rock.
Did you say Fraggle Rock? That's where I'm from.
Hey, I know that. Ladies and gentlemen, Red Fraggle.
Hey, who are you talking to? Look at all these silly creatures. Don't let me interrupt you. What were you saying?
Well, I was just about to tell everybody just how much New York means to our family. My father was born in Mississippi, but many people don't know that my mother was born right here in Queens. And they met at the they met at the University of Maryland, and they moved to New York in 1963. There is just so much of the work that my father did, particularly in those early years, that was all done right here in the city.
Oh, so this is New York, huh? Mm-hmm. Kind of small. But now how did they get the walls of this cave so smooth and white?
Now, my guess is that they had lots and lots of doozers.
Oh,
Lots of
yeah. Mm-hmm.
Now, New York City has been the home of Sesame Street since it very first began in 1969. And ever since 1993, it's been shot right here at Kaufman Astoria Studios, right behind us. In addition, the Jim Henson Creature Shop moved just a few blocks away onto Northern Boulevard. And, I've really gotten used to the R train and the M train, and this is a great neighborhood. We love it out here. It was always my mother's wish to be able to have my father's characters available here to New Yorkers, to be able to really get close to again. And this permanent gallery here at this wonderful, wonderful institution will really give people the opportunity to get to know him as an artist. There's many multifaceted artists. I think everyone will find something new that they didn't know about Jim Henson here at this exhibit.
Wow, this sounds like a pretty cool thing you've got going right here. But is this just for silly creatures, or can Fraggles join in the fun too?
Well, Red, the Fraggles are actually some of the stars of this exhibit.
Wow! What's an exhibit?
Oh, sorry. This is the Jim Henson Exhibition, and it is the place that you can come to reconnect to the creative spirit of Jim Henson. Absolutely. And you'll be able to come along and see with all the rest of us.
I can't wait!
But you will have to wait a little bit longer because I get to thank some really special people who this exhibit couldn't have happened without. And I'd like you to help me to thank them, okay? So, of course, we have to start with some of the people that have already been thanked, but they need an extra special thanks.
Always!
So
yes.
Barbara and Wendell and their whole team, absolutely extraordinary.
Thank
in
you!
the moving image. Thank you, thank you. Brian Collins and the whole design team. Okay, hold the applause to the end, okay? Because otherwise this will go on a little too long. Or as they say. Brian Collins, the design team at Collins, beautiful work. Bonnie Erickson, Craig Shinman, and everyone on the Jim Henson Legacy.
Thank you!
Karen Falk and Susie Toft from the Henson Archives.
Yes!
Jason Weber, Melissa Creighton, and everyone at the Henson Workshop.
Yes!
Debbie McClellan from Disney, thank you so much, Debbie. Betsy Laredo, Jennifer Perry, and all of our friends at Sesame Street.
Thank you!
And most of all, Carl Goodman, because without his vision and his persistence, this never would have happened. And most of all, today we are here to thank the City of New York. So thank you so much, everyone who's here from the city. And we also want to thank all of the artists who collaborated with my father over the years to create the work.
Yes! Oh, does that include me?
Yes, I think that it does.
Yes, wow!
So with that, we would like to, it is my pleasure to introduce the next speaker, which is Deputy Mayor for Housing and Economic Development.
Whoa, that's a long name.
And that's not actually her name.
Oh.
That's her job. Her name is Alicia Glenn.
Woo!
Please come up, Alicia.
Come on up, Alicia! Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo!
Wow, thank you, Red Fraggle, and you were able to pronounce my name. I'm very excited about that. First of all, I'm really here on behalf of all of the city agencies that have pulled together to work on this project. Again, all of these take an unbelievable village of city agencies in cooperation, as well as the support, obviously, of our local officials, and it really is wonderful. And I think it's fair to say that today it's official. The Muppets are taking Queens. So, as a lifelong New Yorker and a resident of Manhattan, I cede jurisdiction to Queens. It's fantastic. And I think it's because it's really fair to say that there's no more beloved franchise maybe in the world than the Muppets and Sesame Street. And it really is fundamental to the magic of being a kid, not just a New York kid, but any kid around the globe. And I think it's also that you never really grow out of being a Jim Henson and a Muppet kid and a person. I think it's about as New York as anything can get, right? They're hip, they're funny, they're a little bit edgy, right? They're a little bit controversial, and that's what New Yorkers really are all about. And I think I have a confession to make as a New Yorker. This is also very personal to me. I was actually on Sesame Street in the first season. My press people are probably going to go, we never knew that. But so this really comes completely full circle for me, and it's so exciting as a mom and a person who grew up in New York to be able to continue to share that, not just with my children, but all of the children who are here in New York, and all of the children who come to visit New York and now can see the Muppets in a much more holistic way at this amazing museum. So I think it's really important for us to celebrate what they represent to us as New Yorkers, but also to how New York is really an emissary of culture around the world and the kind of culture we want to celebrate. And it's also not just about fun, it's also about business, right? An extraordinary statistic, and people forget this because we focus on so many other things. The same number of people who work in the technology sector or work on Wall Street work in the creative sector. More than 300,000 New Yorkers every day are doing this work. And the commitment of companies like Jim Henson to not just stay in New York, but to stay with their roots and to stay in places like Queens and Astoria is incredibly profound and really represents the best of what we say is made in New York. And so I want to thank you and your family's commitment to staying here, and obviously Carl to being such an extraordinary representative of the nonprofit cultural center, working so collaboratively with the creative economy in general. So this is going to be a wonderful permanent home for the Muppets. Hopefully I will be here with my grandchildren one day. But we're just very excited to be here, and none of this could have happened without a continued support of your amazing councilman, Jimmy Van Bramer. Come on up.
Thank you very much. First, I want to say that I believe Abby, at the beginning, said that she lives in Fairyside Gardens, Queens. I just want to say that sounds like a very inclusive neighborhood. That I, as a gay man, can say I would be proud to live in. A few things. Number one, this place is very personal to me. As many people know, I grew up only a few blocks away in Astoria, Queens. My mother still lives on 44th Street in Assemblywoman Simotis' district. And this area did not look or feel like this. When I was a child and my sister Kim and I would ride our bikes along the avenue, it felt like a big abandoned place. Of course it wasn't, but it felt like this to us as kids. What this museum and the economic development that has happened around the arts and culture has resulted in is a renaissance and a transformation of this area of Astoria, Queens. So I want to thank all of the visionaries and the dreamers who believed in the power of culture and the arts to actually transform neighborhoods and to make them even better places to live in. And now we see a cultural district that has risen up here surrounding the arts. It's absolutely amazing. I want to thank Carl Goodman, who is an amazing leader of this institution. He is an absolute amazing leader of this institution who has a really good heart and a really good soul and who really appreciates what this institution means to the people of Queens and the people of New York City. And I want to thank Cheryl Henson and her family, several years back we had another exhibition, a temporary exhibition, and I spoke at that exhibition and talked a little bit about my love of Kermit the Frog, which was my first non-traditional relationship. And it was very, very meaningful, and your family was there, and I think was very appreciative of the comments that I made that day. I want to thank the deputy mayor and her team, and James Patchett, and of course, the First Lady for being not only in Queens the entire week, but in my district 2 days in a row at a minimum. And this is very powerful. Needless to say, this museum is one of my personal favorites. And so I'm proud to have invested $2 million into this exhibition alone. And as Carl knows, I never say no to the Museum of the Moving Image. I never say no because I know what this museum means to all of the children, and I know what this exhibition means. So I want to say a few things, as I did yesterday, because I believe in the arts, and I believe it very personally. And this is not a political thing. This is a personal thing for me, right? That's what the arts mean. The First Lady spoke about Create NYC and what we did yesterday, which is to make sure that the arts and culture are accessible to every single person, every single child in the city of New York. And one of the reasons that I love Henson, and one of the reasons that I love the Muppets and Sesame Street, is you go through that exhibit and you see so many characters, so many colors, so many odd and kooky characters. And the truth is that in these times in particular, in this, the most diverse county in the United States of America, with all that we hear from Washington, there are some children who are wondering, is this place safe for me? Am I welcome here, right? Do I matter? And who represents me? Every child in the city of New York, every child in Queens, in this neighborhood, just like myself, can go through that, interact with these wonderful characters, and see themselves, right? They can see joy, and they can experience something very, very powerful. And I mentioned last time the song, Rainbow Connection, in the Muppet movie. And as a gay kid growing up here in Astoria, and I said to Cheryl and her family, I don't know if that was the intention of the lyrics or of the movie, but when Kermit sang those lyrics, he spoke to me. And I think the Muppets and Sesame Street speak to every child in a very powerful way that even adults don't always understand. And so I want to read the first stanza of Rainbow Connection. I am not going to sing it. But I called it up again as I walked through the exhibit this morning. I wasn't planning on doing this. And as all of you know, Kermit said to us, why are there so many songs about rainbows? And what's on the other side? Rainbows are visions, but only illusions, and rainbows have nothing to hide. So we've been told, and some choose to believe it. I know they're wrong. Wait and see. Someday we'll find it, the rainbow connection, the lovers, the dreamers, and me. That is the power of this exhibit. That's why we support it. Thank you to the Henson family for making it a reality.
Wire! Wire for Mr. Carl Goodman! Wire from Mr. Carl Goodman!
Wait. Sorry. Hi.
Oh, you Carl Goodman?
Yeah, I'm Carl Goodman.
Wire for you. Yes.
It's the one and only Fozzie Bear.
Thank you, and thank you. Yes, that was an oldie but a goodie. Yeah. One of my classic jokes, actually, that I am only too happy to be donating to the Museum of the Moving Fromage.
Fozzie, fromage is cheese. We're the Museum of the Moving Image.
Oh, it was a pretty cheesy joke.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well,
Yes.
I wouldn't expect anything else from you, Fozzie, and I'm really glad you could join us.
Thank you. Yeah, no problem. And thanks for inviting me to introduce the ribbon cutting. I guess it's because I'm such a cut-up. Huh? Yeah. So I'm just ribbon, yep. Ribbon! Oh, Carl, I got a million ribbon cutting jokes.
Great, can't wait to hear them. Are any of them any good?
That hurt. That hurt deep down.
Gotta stay
I know
focused.
you didn't mean it.
I know.
You know, yeah. He's not good at telling jokes. That's why I'm here.
Well, I'm sorry to have hurt you, but maybe we should just, if you don't mind, go and cut this ribbon. You're welcome.
Am I invited too?
You're
Can
welcome.
I come?
You're welcome to join me. I just beg the audience's indulgence for 1 second. Please remain seated. Please remain calm as we take some photos and reposition the media and cut the ribbon and show you the Jim Henson
Should
Exhibition.
I breathe deeply? Should I do some yoga?
Are you sure you don't
Am I
have
okay?
somewhere else you need to be? No, come along with us, Fuzzy.